corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
Kevin Trudeau here. We are live. I think we're live. Are we live? We're live. We are live. Great show today. I'm taking your phone calls today. So I am going to be answering all your questions and taking your phone calls. Thanks for joining us. This is the Kevin Trudeau Show. I am Kevin Trudeau, and you're not. You know, if you haven't seen some of the previous shows, I was sitting down with the staff and we were going over some of the shows that I've produced and we're putting in segments. You really need to go back. I was sitting down with a guy last night and another fellow yesterday at lunch. He took me to lunch and he said, you know, he goes, I binge watched all, and by the way, this guy's worth $200 or $300 million. And so he took me to lunch, and he was buying. Very nice place. And he said, you know, I binge watched your shows. He says, man, I don't know this stuff. Because I'm going to watch every single show. He says, man, I knew you were a genius. He says, but we've known each other for such a long time. How come you never told me any of this stuff? I said, you never asked me. I'm giving you stuff, man, that's not out there. And this guy was just blown away. He says, man, I'm telling everybody about your show. And this guy's worth a couple $100 million. He says, I'm telling everybody about this show. You're sharing information that people need to hear because no one's talking about it. No one's explaining it in the way you're explaining it. And it's information that can improve the quality of everybody's life. It's just going to make you a better person, a happier person, a more successful person, a person with better relationships. It's right there. So I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't watched all the previous shows, man, binge watch the shows because this is information that, you know, you can spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a weekend seminar with one of these success gurus. And look, you're going to get value out of that. Is it worth $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000? I don't know. I don't think so, but you're going to get some value. But even when you go to these things, and there are people that have come and said, I've read all the books on success. I've gone to all these seminars. There are people that said, Kevin, I've invested over the last 20 years $1 million in personal development, success training, law of attraction training, with the biggest names in the guru self-improvement success industry. And he says, the information that you share, they don't teach this. Do they even know it? And the answer is no, they don't know it. So you're getting some information on these shows that just isn't available anywhere else. So take advantage of all the previous shows that we shot. I mean, the stuff on meditation, the stuff on health and nutrition. The last show we did on Monday was all about health and nutrition. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You know, we're going to show you stuff on how to be healthy, live longer, massive longevity, avoid, you know, all the natural cures for diseases without drugs and surgery so you can live, you know, a long, healthy, vibrant, vigorous life. There's just so much. How to be happy, how to be at peace, how to be enlightened, how to connect with the universe, how to have better relationships, how to attract a mate, how to attract a woman or a man and have a great, passionate relationship, how to attract money, how to create money, how to succeed in business, how to negotiate, how to speak, how to communicate, how to make money on online marketing, how the media is brainwashing you. There's so much stuff out there that if you know some of this information, as I do, then your life is going to be empowered. You're going to have more power to control your life and to create the life that you want and have the emotional peace and joy and love within inside of you, this connection with the universe, this overwhelming bubbling up of bliss that is beyond all human comprehension. It's available to you, so stay tuned. We get a lot coming on. Go back to listen, watch those old shows, not the old shows, just the previous shows that I shot. It's fantastic information, and I'm giving it to you for free here on the show. So glad to be here. I am taking phone calls today. I'm going to talk about breathing first, but I am taking phone calls today. This Saturday, by the way, I am doing a live Zoom call with partners of the Kevin Trudeau fan club where I answer everyone's question. Now, if you're not a partner in my fan club, I don't own the fan club, it was set up. I would encourage you to go to KevinTrudeauFanClub.com, become a partner, because if you become a partner, every single month I do a live Zoom call with partners only. and I answer all of the questions of all the gold partners and above, gold, diamond, platinum, diamond, and patron partners. They all get their questions answered. So if you're not a partner, become a partner. You can join that Zoom call. And here's the best part too. I've been doing these Zoom calls for many, 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 many months. I do 4 of them a month. One every month. So, and they're 2, sometimes 3 hours. Sometimes I have to do a supplemental one the next day because there's so many questions. But I answer every single one of your questions in depth. All of the previous Zoom calls that I did for partners are on the partner-only area of the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club website. So if you just join right now, not only do you get to participate live, but we record them. And if you can't be there live on when I do the live Zoom call, I can still answer your question because you can send it in. We send you the recording. But if you join, you also get access to every other Zoom call I did. And I answered questions about aliens. I answered questions about health conditions. I answered questions about enlightenment and spirituality. People were blown away because there's no holes barred. It's a private Zoom call for partners only. So I give you the answer. You can ask any question. And man, I tell you what it is. And the people that are partners are just having amazing epiphanies, cognitions, realizations. They're hearing stuff that they just haven't heard from anyone. And to be able to ask a question directly is really great. So it's my privilege and honor to do those live Zoom calls. What are they worth? To get on that call, to ask me questions, and listen to other questions being answered in depth on any and every subject. It's worth a lot. And you get it for free when you become a partner. So go to KevinTrudeauFanClub.com and become a partner. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, share it with everyone, leave comments at the end, comment on other people's comment, help the algorithm. We need to get the subscribers up and the viewers up, share it with everyone you know. All right, before I take the phone calls, I promised you on Monday. By the way, I'm doing 2. I got corralled into doing 2 shows a week, Monday and here on Wednesday. So twice a week, I'm doing live shows. So the next show is going to be Monday at 1 o'clock Chicago time. Obviously, afterwards, it's up on the YouTube channel. And then Wednesday here, 1 o'clock Chicago time, it's live. So 2 shows a week, I'm doing the Kevin Trudeau Show. 2 shows a week. So the next show is Monday. You don't want to miss it. If you missed last Monday's show, people are flipping out. I mean, people around here heard about health and nutrition and about why vitamins and minerals are the biggest scam going, next to the pharmaceutical drug industry. And if you're taking vitamins and minerals, you have no idea who owns these companies, and they're treating you like a sucker. And these things are just not helping your health. Sometimes in the short term, they stimulate you, you feel good, but then they have negative effects. And I explain all this. I'm exposing what they don't want you to know about in the health industry. So I'm not making a lot of friends. And the people that were my friends now aren't my friends. And I know them. I asked one time, a guy was making vitamins. He sells vitamins. He makes vitamins. I goes, why do you use a tablet when you know they put glue and binders together? And he said, it's cheaper. We make a higher profit margin if it's a tablet and nobody cares. It's not going to affect sales if I spend more money to make a better product. I'm still going to sell the same amount. I'm just going to make less money. And that's the problem. If you haven't watched last Monday's show on the supplements, I recommend you do. And go back. There's tons of shows on various subjects. Binge watch them. Highly recommend you to do that. Okay. What if I told you that the way you breathe is causing you health problems? And the way you breathe is also keeping you poor. And the way you breathe is also preventing you from enlightenment and self-realization, being happy, being joyful and blissful. And the way you breathe is keeping you stressed out and anxious and causing you to have uncontrollable, irrational emotions. Would you want to know a little bit more about that? I'm going to tell you about breathing. And there is a way to breathe that can increase your health. make you feel better, sleep better, live longer. In fact, breathing the wrong way causes your digestion to be so bad, it's making you gain weight. Would you like a flat stomach? If you breathe the right way, you can get a flat stomach. So let me explain. In India is kind of the mecca of breathing techniques, and there are hundreds of different breathing techniques. In India, the Sanskrit word is called pranayama, and pranayama is the science of breath, moving the breath. Prana is breath or light, or life force, prana, breath, and yama is moving of. So it's pranayama, the moving of the breath. In India or yogic teachings, there are all these breathing techniques or pranayama techniques. You don't need to know them all, and I'm not going to get into every single breathing technique. I'm just going to tell you one, the simplest one. Work with this first. This is pretty much all you need. You can do other things if you want to, but just stick with one. Start with the basic one that you screwed up on and do that. And people always want, well, tell me the advanced stuff. Give me the advanced technique. Give me the advanced technique. I remember I was training in martial arts, and one of the greatest chi energy masters in the last 100 years was a gentleman named Grand Master Tai. He was a very close personal friend of mine. He came to visit me while I was away at Federal Prison Camp Montgomery many, many times. He was my personal mentor when it came to chi and breathing and using energy, chi energy. He was a dear friend, wonderful person, passed away recently. And he spoke English, but he was Chinese. And when I brought in the Shaolin monk, Xian Ming, from the Shaolin Temple in China to live with me in Ojai, California for a while, to learn some of the secret Shaolin Kung Fu techniques, I brought Grandmaster Tai there to help translate because Xian Ming didn't speak English very well. So we were at the house, and I said to Grandmaster Tai, tell the monk that I want to learn the advanced techniques from the Shaolin Temple. Tell him that we've been training for a long time, and I kind of know a lot about martial arts and chi energy and things like that. I'm not a novice or a beginner. I'm not a master, of course, but I'm learning. This is 25 years ago. So I'm still learning. So I'm very humbled and very open to learning. I want to learn the advanced stuff. So they talk in Chinese. I guess Mandarin was the language they spoke, not Cantonese, but it was Mandarin. And Grandmaster Tai said, he say he want to teach you how to throw a punch. I says, Master Tai, at the time he wasn't Grandmaster Tai, he was Master Tai. I said, Master Tai, tell him I know how to throw a punch and I want to learn the advanced stuff. So they talk again in Mandarin. And he says, he really want to teach you how to throw a punch. I says, Master Tai, tell him I know how to throw punches and kicks and all that stuff. And I know how to move my chi energy. I can do all these things. We've been training for a long time. I can break bricks. And I can do all this crazy stuff. Tell him I want advanced techniques from the inside of the temple, Kwai Chang Caine stuff from Kung Fu, So they talk again. He say he really want to teach you how to throw a punch, but he want to see your punch first. I says, oh, great. He'll look at my punch. He'll then realize I kind of know what I'm doing. Then he'll teach me the advanced stuff. He said, he want to test you, so I need to get a candle. You have candle here? Yes, so I have all these sconces in my house. I pull a candle off, light it up, put it down. He say, throw cutting punch. Well, I know what a cutting punch is. He says, he want you to throw cutting punch and stop fist 1 inch before candle flame. I'm thinking, perfect. He wants to see my control and how fast and hard I can throw and how I can control it. So I throw this cutting punch and I stop at 1 inch before the candle flame, and I think I did a pretty good job. But I'm humbled myself. I want to learn, and maybe I didn't do a good job. Show me. If it's not good, let's work on the punch. So they talk in Mandarin, and Master Tai said, he very impressed with your punch. I go, great. He say he wants to show you his punch now. Oh, good. So the monk gets up, smiles. He throws a short little punch. It stops about this far from the candle flame, and the candle flame goes out. Now, it wasn't the wind. I'm looking in awe, and I said, tell him I want to learn how to do that. He goes, that's what he's been trying to tell you. He wants to show you how to throw a punch. Now think about this. And this is when he said the next line. The monks say he is not afraid of the 10,000 strikes that you know that you practice only once each. But he is afraid of the one strike you know that you've practiced 10,000 times. Think about that. So when it comes to breath, I'm going to teach you one technique. Work with this one technique. There are hundreds of pranayama techniques, and they do different things, and they're for different reasons. Unless you master this one, these other ones are going to be irrelevant. So focus on this first one, and you'll start experiencing all the benefits of it. So let's go back to breathing. When I was with the monk, we were talking about the breath, and he explained, think about a baby. A baby knows how to breathe. And it doesn't matter if the baby was born in China or South America or Africa or Japan or Canada or the United States. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the skin color of the baby. If it's a human baby, the baby knows how to breathe. You don't have to teach it breathing. There's no course on breathing for a baby. And if you watch a baby, how does a baby breathe? The baby breathes in and out of its nose. That's number one. The nose is for breathing. The mouth is for eating and drinking. The mouth is not for breathing, unless you're doing a specific pranayama technique, but we're not talking about that. Basic fundamental breath is the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. And I'm not going to explain the 100 reasons why the nose protects you from virus. I'll give you a couple. Do you notice you have nose hairs? They're there for a reason. They actually stop particles as it's going in. The mouth doesn't have that. So when you breathe in through the nose, whatever's in the air gets filtered by the nose. The nose is designed to filter air. It's for breathing. You don't eat with your nose. You don't drink with your nose. You breathe with your nose. So number one, a baby breathes in and out through its nose. Number two, unless there's a medical condition, which we're not going to talk about, because if you have medical issues, that's a different thing. But if you do this, a lot of these medical conditions will get sorted out. So number one, babies breathe in and out through the nose. Number two, if you look at a baby when they're lying down and they're breathing from their stomach. Their stomach goes up and down, up and down. Below the stomach is what's called the diaphragm. There is a breathing called diaphragmatic breathing. It's a big word, you don't have to worry about it, but it's very simple. When you breathe, the air comes in through your nose and goes into your lungs. But in order to expand your lungs fully, you have to expand the diaphragm. So it looks like the belly or the stomach is expanding. It's really not. You're not putting air into the stomach. You're putting air into the diaphragm, the lower part of the lung. And this expands the lungs and allows the lungs to go up and down like a bellow. This stimulates and massages the internal organs and helps oxygenate the entire system. So a baby breathes from the stomach. When the air comes in, the first thing that moves is the stomach. The stomach goes out. Then the mid lungs expand, not just the front, but also the back. And then the top lung expands, not just the front, but the back. So it's 1, 2, 3. Lower, middle, and upper lung. Diaphragm, middle lung, upper lung. So when you breathe in, that's how a baby breathes. However, the way you breathe is from here. Most people, if they breathe in and out through their nose, if I say take a deep breath in, they don't move their stomach. They move the upper chest. Nine, Niet. Nada. No good. And if you're really old and you're getting close to dying, you breathe out of your throat. The lungs don't even take the air in. The air or the breath is life. So here is the simplest way to breathe. Number one, don't breathe in and out through your mouth. You breathe in and out through your nose. Number two, when you breathe in, focus on 2 inches below your belly button. So as you breathe in, the stomach goes out a little bit. Continue to breathe. This part of the lung expands, and then the upper chest. And then reverse it. Now, I'm exaggerating it here. A normal breath looks like this. Doesn't look like I'm doing anything. The body is breathing normally. All you want to do is put your attention 2 inches below your belly button, and the stomach will move just a little bit. Maybe a centimeter, maybe an eighth of an inch. Doesn't have to move that much. This is how you should be breathing all the time. If you train your body to breathe this way all the time, you have all these amazing benefits, including increase in your chi ball, which is in the dantian, which is 2 inches below your belly button. And when that chi energy gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you have amazing power. There was a video on our Telegram channel, for the Fan Club Telegram channel. Greg's over here. He was training me that day. And I was holding this ball, and he was whacking me in the stomach. And my face looked like nothing was happening whatsoever. I wasn't, It was just nothing. Because all I did was expand the chi ball, and the chi ball was like a rock. And as he was pounding this, and we've done other things too that are even more dramatic, the chi energy is hard and protects the body. The other benefits of this is dramatic stress reduction. There's a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. As you go throughout the day, you're driving in a car. Just driving in a car increases the secretion of cortisol, which is this stress hormone. This makes you fat, and specifically belly fat. So it gives you the belly. If you reduce cortisol, you'll lose weight and get a flat stomach. You reduce cortisol primarily by reducing stress. The number one way to reduce stress is by breathing correctly. Anytime you're driving in the car, if you were just to note how you're breathing from here. Throughout the day, here is the simple method. Take a card, like a blue card or something, or a little tiny card. Put it in the car, put it on your computer. Put it places on the mirror in your bathroom. Put it on the refrigerator. You go in there 20 times a day, so that's a good place for it. You'll see it if it's on the refrigerator. Maybe put it on the inside of the refrigerator, so it's the first thing you see. And just put a word, breathe. And all that is a reminder to breathe correctly. Multiple times throughout the day, just breathe correctly. And here's all you have to do. When I tell you breathe correctly, put your attention 2 inches below your belly button. Number one. Number two, relax your stomach. Number three, relax your face. And number four, breathe normally in and out through the nose only. And as you breathe in, with your attention 2 inches below your belly button, the stomach expands a little bit, and as you exhale, it goes in a little bit. The body will take care of the rest, the middle and upper chest, or middle and upper lung. It'll take care of that. This is all you have to do. The body knows how to breathe. So number 1, put your attention 2 inches below your belly button. Number 2, relax your stomach. Number 3, relax your face. Number 4, breathe in and out through the nose only. Put your attention 2 inches below your belly button. And as you breathe in, the belly goes out just a little bit. And as you exhale, it goes in. Don't make noise. Don't do this. I remember I was with the monk and we brought a bunch of people in and we were teaching them some Qigong. And the monk is up there, we're doing a technique with everybody. And there's this guy in the front and he says, okay, so do this. We're moving the energy. And he's doing this. And the monk says, what's that noise? And the guy goes, well, I'm deep breathing. He goes, the monk says, why can I hear you? He said, well, I'm trying to breathe fully. He goes, the body knows how to breathe. Just relax. Let it do what it knows how to do. Just put your attention 2 inches below your belly button. Breathe normally. Don't force it. Let the body breathe at its normal pace. This is where you start. Just allowing the body to breathe normally. If you do this 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times a day, you will notice that you're not breathing this way all the time. And as you start doing it, stress will be reduced. Anytime throughout the day you're under stress, use this breathing technique. It will be miraculous. Miraculous. It can reduce appetite, reduce food cravings, reduce alcohol cravings, reduce tobacco cravings. It relaxes you, relaxes the face muscles, relaxes all the muscles. Many times lower back pain goes away. You reduce your cortisone levels, which means you're going to sleep better and your stomach can get flatter. You'll stop putting on as much fat because your hormone, the cortisol, will start going down. Your hormones will balance out. You'll become more relaxed. Your pineal gland or pineal gland will start to activate, which means you'll be able to connect with the universe. Think about this. The benefits go on and on and on and on. Which one are you excited about? Maybe stress reduction. Throughout the day, anytime you're stressed out, anytime you're uptight, anytime you're having a negative emotion, simply put your attention 2 inches below your belly button, relax your stomach, relax your face, breathe in and out through the nose with your attention 2 inches below your belly button, and on the inhale, the stomach goes out a little bit, and on the exhale, the stomach goes in a little bit. Do that at least 5 times, and you'll notice the body starts to release endorphins, serotonin levels in the brain start normalizing. The left and right brain hemispheres start connecting. You go from the beta wave, which is the loser, broke, failure wave, into alpha, where the left and the right brain hemispheres are connected and you feel at peace. And you increase oneness because you begin to stimulate the pineal gland. I'm going to talk more about that in a future episode. So breathing is miraculous. And I remember Grandmaster Ty came to visit me. We were sitting there in the visiting room, and he was there for many, many hours. And at the end, he go, I've been watching your stomach, you know. You good. You're very good now. All day, all the time, your stomach move up and down with your breath. Excellent. I can see why you're so at peace. It's true, because when you're in a relaxed state, you breathe that way. But more important, you can put yourself in a relaxed state when you breathe that way. This is just the tip of the iceberg on breathing. Just the tip of the iceberg. But try this. Remember the technique, it's very simple. Number 1, put your attention 2 inches below your belly button. Number 2, relax your stomach. Number 3, relax your face. Number 4, breathe in and out through the nose only. With your attention 2 inches below your belly button, on the inhale, the stomach goes out a little bit. On the exhale, it comes in a little bit. That's all you have to do. Do that at least 5 times. Do that throughout the day. Make that conscious effort to do that throughout the day. Ideally, in time, you won't have to think about it. That's the way you'll be breathing all the time. You do not want to be breathing out of your mouth. Most people, when they sleep, by the way, are mouth breathers. This is screwing you up. It's making you gain weight. It's screwing up your metabolism. It's deactivating the pineal gland, stopping you from joy, bliss, and happiness. And it's also preventing you from manifesting. So I talked about that breath can keep you broke. Why? Because when you're breathing from here up, you're in beta. Your brainwave is operating in beta. Beta waves are what we call the failure waves. It's what the majority of people broadcast most of the time throughout the day. Billionaires and wealthy people are in alpha or theta. Monks who are meditated for decades and are enlightened are in gamma as well as theta. A lot of big words here. It's basically just the frequency or the speed in which the brain waves are operating. And scientists put them into 5 categories. There's actually more, but we'll use the 5 categories that science has isolated in terms of the frequency bands. The bottom line is when you're stressed out, you're in beta. When you breathe this way, you'll go into alpha. You won't go into theta or gamma, but at least you'll go into alpha, which will relax you. This alpha state is when you start to wish and want things. You start using the law of attraction. You start putting out desires into the universe. If you're putting it out on beta, you're going to get nothing. It's going to be like swimming upstream. If you're putting it out on alpha or theta or gamma, you'll manifest it. The biggest one is theta. That's what the billionaires are always in, and we know this with scientific testing. But you can't get the theta until you get to alpha. The breathing will put you immediately, within virtually a minute, into alpha. Within a minute. How do we know this? You just put a person on a brain machine and have them breathe this way, and within 5 breaths, they're in alpha. It's that quick. It synchronizes the left and right brain hemispheres, and it allows you then to start the manifestation process, and everything works better. You're connecting with the universe, you're allowing joy to come up, and you're on the right path. But unless you get into alpha, you'll never get into theta, and you'll never get into gamma. You'll never start really taking full advantage of any type of training you've gone through in terms of manifesting. The simplest, easiest way that's been done for thousands of years, it isn't listening to, biosynchronization, bicameral beats and left and right. There was no headphones 1,000 years ago. There was no headphones 100 years ago. How did people become billionaires 100 years ago or 75 years ago before headphones and audio training? Think about it. The first thing is breathing. It's getting into alpha and theta. It's stimulating the pineal gland. Also, there's another gland in the brain called the hippocampus. I'll be talking about these in future episodes at length, and I'll probably be talking about them this Saturday when I do the Zoom call with the partners of the fan club. So again, if you're not a partner, become a partner, because I'm going to be talking a lot about this, I'm sure. Breathe right. It's easy. Last time I said it was easy, I got in trouble. I got put away in prison for 10 years. They said, it's not easy. I think this breathing is easy. Oh God, I'm already, the Federal Trade Commission is going to be filing a lawsuit. He said it was easy. Put him in jail again. I'm telling you, this is stuff they don't want you to know about. Why don't they want you to know about breathing? Well, number one, the drug companies don't want you to be healthy. Healthy people don't buy drugs. See, the drug companies hate me. Do you know that I've been called by major pharmaceutical companies and offered millions of dollars to endorse their drugs? They said, Kevin, you wrote the book Natural Cures. They don't want you to know about the #1 selling health book of all time. If you endorse our product, it's like the golden, good housekeeping seal of approval. We'll pay you so much money. I go, well, there's a problem. I don't take your drug. They go, well, don't you have anything? I mean, take something. I mean, you see all the celebrities on TV. This superstar athlete, this superstar singer. they're all promoting drugs. They're all doing drug ads because of the millions they're getting. I got psoriasis, so I take this drug. I got rheumatoid arthritis. I'm a golfer. I take this drug. Well, the problem is I'm healthy. I don't need drugs. Healthy people don't buy drugs. Breathing properly is going to dramatically improve your health. This is stuff they don't want you to know about. It also is going to help you connect with the pineal gland so you can start accessing the Akash, which is the ether, which is the universal field of all knowledge, past, present, future. Oh boy, we're getting into some real good stuff here. Gotta keep going. Future episode. All right, before I take phone calls, we're gonna take phone calls here in a minute. I do want to talk about books. As you know, there are critical key books that are very helpful to you if you want to improve your relationships, be happier, be healthier, and manifest things in your life. There are really good books. So there's a list of books that I've recommended since I started doing this show. And if we could put that list up. So this is the list of the books that I've recommended since I've done the show. And the reason I've recommended these books is not only have I read them and I endorse and recommend them, all of these books I've read multiple times since the 70s, with the exception of a couple which came out recently, like Victor Bloch's book. But all the other books are old books. People if you go to Hollywood, many major celebrities have said they read The Magic of Believing or Think and Grow Rich, and they use the techniques and that helped them create massive success. How to Win Friends and Influence People. All these books are so critical. So many successful people point to these books. Why are the books so critical? Kevin, I hate reading. I want to just watch stuff on YouTube. I'll binge watch your show. Okay, all right, you can binge watch my show. I'll let you do that. Why do I have to read? Well, remember, how did people become wealthy 100 years ago? They didn't have access to videos and audios and all this stuff. One of the things, I talked about breathing and relaxing, and they used nature and different things to do that. As a matter of fact, in the movie The Sound of Music, which is on my movie recommended list, they talk about going out and doing deep breathing, and the captain is a real big believer. This was done all the time. Specific, and even in the West, not just in India, breathing was critical. But books, reading, even reading a novel, even a trashy, terrible novel, but reading stimulates parts of the brain that release endorphins, which are the feel-good hormones, and reading helps reduce cortisol. Reading also stimulates the hippocampus, which allows you to broadcast in theta and start getting toward gamma. Reading puts you in alpha instantly. It relaxes you. Reading stimulates parts of the brain that only reading does, which is why throughout history, keeping people illiterate, unable to read, was one of the simplest ways to control the masses. It did it two ways. Number one, they don't have access to information. But number two, they're not stimulating their brain. Reading stimulates the brain in a way that nothing else does, and can help you manifest goals, dreams, desires, even by reading trashy novels. Forget the information you're gathering from the books. So I recommend you read the books. I'm only going to recommend 2 more books for a while because most of you haven't read these books. And I do have a recommended reading list with a whole bunch of books. If you go to the KevinTrudeauFanClub.com website, I have a whole list of, I think, a couple hundred books that I recommend. But I'm going to give you 2. And I'm going to give you one of them that's not even on that list because it's for you because you're watching this show. The first book I'm going to recommend this week is called Animal Farm. Animal Farm was written, I believe, in the 30s, and it's by George Orwell. Now, you can look him up. He's a very famous guy. He wrote a book called 1984, which talked about where things were going in the world. Animal Farm is a fast read. It is a simple book to read. It is an easy book to read. And it tells you, by using the metaphor of a bunch of animals, how governments work all around the world. At the time that it was written, it was specifically giving an example of the Bolshevik Revolution and Joseph Stalin. But that's irrelevant. It's the same in the United States. It's the same in Canada. It's the same all throughout Europe. It's the same in Australia and New Zealand and South Africa. As a matter of fact, it's the same in every country in the world that has a government. Even kingdoms that have kings. When you read this book, your eyes should be opened to how it works. And when you see behind the curtain and you get revealed to you how the power structures work and what the nature of people, the nature really is, what the motivations really are, and how governments really operate, how they lie in to deceive you, you will all of a sudden come out of your trance and you will be empowered and you'll be able to start taking control of your life and you'll be happier and more at peace. You will no longer be worried by what goes out around you. You will understand that you're not going to let the outside world affect you. That what's inside you is going to affect the outside world. That's ultimate peace, because it's ultimate being at cause over your environment. So check out the book Animal Farm. I think you'll love it. And if you do like it, make sure you put some comments in the comment section. The next book, I mentioned it a couple episodes ago, by Og Mandino. Great guy. He wrote a book that I read years ago, and it's based on the technique that Benjamin Franklin, one of the American founders, and he was the, quote, the discoverer of electricity by flying a kite, as the story goes, with a key on it, and the kite got hit by lightning, and the key got all electrified. Benjamin Franklin was a genius. He also invented the printing press. We wouldn't even have books today if it wasn't for him. He was also a Freemason, the highest level in Freemasonry, and he was in the secret sanctum above the 33rd degree in Freemasonry. And he said if you work on just one critical trait every single day for 30 days, and then the next month you take another critical trait and you work on it and think about it every day for 30 days, and you do that for 12 months, he goes, it'll completely transform your life. And the reason it transforms your life is it transforms your self-image, your self-esteem. It starts you developing success habits as opposed to having failure habits. It's a spectacular technique, but nobody does it. I mean, seriously, nobody does it. The book that I recommend by Og Mandino is called The Greatest Salesman in the World, and he basically gives you the technique. He has 12 scrolls. These scrolls, it's a fictitious book, but the 12 scrolls, each scroll you read at least once a day for 30 days before you go on to the next scroll. So you're rereading the same thing over and over again. Each scroll focuses on one success habit, such as persistence. Another one is today I will greet everyone with love in my heart. I will say silently to everyone I meet, I love you. And you read 2 or 3 pages. It's not long. This is a great book. When I went through this, it was a magical concept. It also starts developing within you commitment, persistence. Just by doing it, you start developing a success habit of keeping agreements. So this is a critical, there's so many critical things that happen if you actually read this book and do it. You'll learn to keep agreements, you'll learn to keep commitments, you'll learn to persist and do the right things long enough consistently, many of the nuggets of gold that I've talked about over the decades will start to happen if you use this simple technique. And it's very easy. Again, you just read the scroll once a day for 30 days before you go to the next one. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. Highly recommend it and endorse it. If you've read any of the books that I recommend, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section and say, hey, I read this book and it really is good. Leave comments. Encourage others to read these books that I recommend. And the books that I recommended on the recommended list, man, I'll tell you, these are the books, if you just don't read anything else. I'm not going to recommend books for a few more weeks. Read the books that are on the list. Read them, even if you read them before, read them again. These are the books that will change your life. If you read even 5 minutes a day, every day, your brain is going to start getting exercised. Magic will start happening in your life. Look, I know this because every time I sit around somebody who's wealthy, you know what's the first thing they always say? Kevin, let me tell you about something I'm reading. Every single person who's worth tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, every time I get together with them, and I was on the phone the other day talking to another guy in Dominican Republic, talking to this guy in Cancun, I'm talking to this guy in Dubai, I'm talking to this guy in Bahrain, royalty, and we talk, hey, what's happening, what's going on? Let me tell you about something I'm reading. Or they'll say to me, Kevin, what are you reading now? It's an automatic that we read. And isn't it interesting that it's an automatic that you don't? Loser. 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 Failure. Loser. Loser. What would you say? Sorry. Loser. Huh? Read books. All right, now, I'll get off that high horse. I'm just trying to help you. I don't care if somebody said to me one time, you just like getting mad at us, Kevin. You're just yelling and getting mad. I told my mother that one time. She was yelling at me. I think she slapped me around a few times. I think maybe she belted me with a belt or a bat or something. She did, I mean, I did something wrong or whatever. She was just beating me and screaming. And my grandmother hit me over the head with a cast iron frying pan. It's true. And I was crying. And I said, you just like being mean. And my mother looked at me and she said, no, son, it'd be a lot easier if I didn't care. Okay, hitting a little kid over the head with a cast iron frying pan, I don't recommend or endorse that. Although I learned my lesson, and I did understand that she did care. Look, I know this stuff. I don't have to be here. I come in. I was telling the guys yesterday, I was sitting in a meeting, and I said, it's a gorgeous day. We're having this production meeting, and I said, if this show, I know people's lives are being transferred by the information we're given on the show, and that's terrific. I said, but at the end of the day, I know this stuff. I said, yeah, it's my mission, it's my purpose, but I could be on the golf course right now. I got plenty of friends who are going to take me golfing. I got plenty of friends who said, Kevin, I'll send you a private jet, I'll pick you up, come to my place in Hawaii, come to my place down in Cancun. Kevin, hang out with me in France for a month or two. Don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. I got plenty of people that will do that. And I said, no, I really would love to do that because I really would love to do that. But there are people out there that need this information in the same way that I needed it when I first started off back in the late 60s. And there are people that made sacrifices for me. It's my turn to give back. But if this thing doesn't catch on, it's up to you. This show has to catch on, and it can only catch on if you are sharing these episodes with everyone you know, if you're subscribing and leaving comments and watching the shows. The more shows you watch, the views go up, the algorithm all works. You leave a comment on somebody else's comment, you share it, you like it. You do all these things, and it helps the algorithm, and you continue to watch the show. All right, so let me talk about some movies. I have been recommending movies since I started doing this show. Here's the list of movies that I've recommended. I'm not going to go over each one of them. The list is available also at KevinTrudeauFanClub.com. The book list is there, and also this movie list. These movies are not only entertaining, but they all contain, embedded in them, secrets of success. So if you watch these movies, they're going to subtly deprogram your failure thinking, your loser mentality, and start programming you with winner mentality, with millionaire mentality, with success mentality. So watch these movies. I'm going to give you 2 recommendations this week. And by the way, if you've watched any of these movies and you like them, put a comment in there. In the comment section here, leave a comment. So the 2 movies I'm going to recommend, and this is obvious. The first one is with one of the greatest actors, I think, in the last 20 or 30 years, who, by the way, used the law of attraction to manifest his enormous success where he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He used the specific techniques taught in The Secret. He used the techniques taught in Think and Grow Rich, and he talks about it all the time. He used the visualization techniques. He breathed. He put himself in theta, so he broadcast his desire on theta. He did certain things to clear out of his field the blocks, which I do in the money processes. And he created enormous success. The man's name is Jim Carrey. And he married a beautiful woman named Jenny McCarthy, who I met. She was on the Danny Bonaducci show here in Chicago. She had just become Playmate of the Year, and she was doing a tour. Her and I met. What a lovely woman. She's also on television now. I haven't seen the show, but I've seen advertisement for it. Jim, I have never met, but I understand he's a spectacular guy. But he used these techniques. The movie that I recommend is Yes Man, 2004. Yes Man with Jim Carrey. And it's an interesting story about somebody who says yes to life instead of always operating out of fear. It's a simple success principle. It's a funny movie. You should enjoy it. I don't remember if it has nudity or swearing in it. I don't think it has any graphic violence, but it might have some nudity. It might have some cursing. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if it is for the whole family. Yes Man, Jim Carrey, 2004. The next one I have to share with you. This is a movie you will probably not like, and I want you to definitely watch it. Why should I watch a movie that I'm not going to like? Because it's not just for entertainment purpose. It's teaching. And you actually will be almost so engaged and enthralled that you can't stop watching it. It's like, how come I can't stop watching this movie? The movie came out, I believe, in the 60s, and it's the original Ocean's 11 with Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Dino, Sammy Davis Jr., Joey Bishop, and Peter Lawford. These were the 5 guys who were the original Rat Pack. They performed in Vegas at the Sands Hotel. Their act was called The Summit because they were all at the summit of their career. And instead of each of them performing at a different hotel, making top money and having top billing, they were all pals. And they said, you know something? Let's make a heck of a lot less money each. Let's just do one show all together. We'll have more fun. We don't need the money. We don't need our ego fed. And so they performed at the Sands Hotel. When you watch this movie, you're going to see the original Ocean's 11 movie. There was a repeat with Brad Pitt later on. This is the original. And you're going to see Vegas as it was back in the 50s, the way people dressed, how it was smaller. It is great. It's got some singing in it. It's got acting in it. You're also going to see Frank Sinatra, the way he treats women. And this is critical because there's a scene in there where he talks about some woman that he picked up and she comes in and the way he treats her. It's so politically incorrect today, 100%. And what he says and the way he treats her is terrible. Never treat a woman like this, like Sinatra did in this movie. He's acting. But you will see a man act like a man and show his manhood. That's what you will see in this movie, men. And you will also see a woman be a strong, wonderful woman. It's a different era. I get it. It might push your buttons. That's okay. If it does, if it gets angry, If you get angry, if you get stimulated, let that come up, transmute that energy. Let me know what you think of the original Ocean's 11, Frank Sinatra and the Boys. Fantastic, fantastic show. All right. Before I take phone calls, we're going to take phone calls here in a minute. I am going to do some shows in the upcoming future. The next show is Monday. This Saturday, I'm doing the live Zoom for partners in the fan club. So if you're not a partner, become a partner today. You'll get the link. You can join me. And if you can't make it live, you'll get the recording. I answer everyone's question, every single one, even if it takes me 2 days to do it. Sometimes I do an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. On Saturday, I don't get to all the questions. They send them to me. I read all of your questions. And then I do a supplemental the next day, and we send that to you via email and say, here's the link to the next hour. I answer all the questions from the partners at the levels that qualify to send in questions. So become a partner, and you get access to that. Go to KevinTrudeauFanClub.com, become a partner. Monday is the next show at 1 o'clock. Next Wednesday, the next Monday, next Wednesday. Okay. I'm going to do a show on a subject, and I probably will do it next Monday. Many people have written in and said, Kevin, I've read Think and Grow Rich. I read The Secret. I watched the movie The Secret. I know about the law of attraction. I've been to Joe Dispenza seminars. I've been to Tony Robbins seminars. I've been to Bob Proctor seminars. I've read stuff by Joe Vitale. I've gone to this guru and that guru and this guru and that guru. I've gotten all these clearings and I have crystals and I listen to sound waves, and I'm still not making any money. I still can't manifest anything. I still have up and downs emotions. Why? I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain why. If you know all that stuff, and if you're doing it correctly, there's two reasons why you're not making any money. The number one reason is there are things on 33 different dimensions that are blocking money from coming into your life. It's like you're swimming upstream. I'm going to explain that. And when you clear these out like I did, it's like the windows of heaven are open and money just pours in effortlessly to you. You manifest like that. But more importantly, all fear of being broke is gone. All fear of poverty is gone. All stress and anxiety about money is gone, regardless of your current situation. So that's number one. The second reason is there's two parts of the brain, particularly the pineal gland or pineal gland. I pronounce it pineal. It's not as sexual. So the pineal gland is the way I say it, and the hippocampus. If you look at wealthy people, let's put people into two categories. Mega wealthy people, like $200 million net worth or higher, and middle money people, and the average guy who lives paycheck to paycheck. You look at the average guy who lives paycheck to paycheck, or people in poverty, their brainwave operates at beta, the beta brainwave, almost all the time. And when they sleep, they don't get into delta very much, which is the deep sleep. Now let's look at people that are making some decent money. Their brainwaves throughout the day operate in beta as well, but not as much. It also operates in alpha. And it also operates a little bit in theta and a little bit in gamma. And then when they go to sleep, they have a little more delta brainwave activity, which means they get deeper rest and rejuvenation than all the other people, the broke people and the people that are just average people. Now let's take the mega rich. Let's hook up their brainwaves, the Elon Musk and these people. Almost all day, their mind is operating in either theta or gamma. They almost have no beta. That's the failure brainwave. And alpha is only when they're learning something. But when they're creating, they're either in theta or gamma. And when they go to sleep, they have more delta. And let's take another group. We'll call them blissful meditators, self-realized, enlightened people that are walking around going, love, love, love. And they're not on psychedelic drugs. They're just walking around going, love, everything's beautiful. Everything's one. We love, I can't, oh, look at the ant. Oh, yes, I don't want to step on the ant. Love, peace, love, beauty. Oh, it's glorious. Life is wonderful. Okay, so those people, the Tibetan monks, and I'm not making fun of them, but those people, the Tibetan monks, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, so they chant, they do it. Let's look at their brainwave. They're almost all day in gamma. They're not creating anything. They don't make anything. They forget to eat. They forget to use the bathroom. And then we look at their pants. It's like, oh, I guess I didn't forget after all. I just didn't realize I crapped my pants. Because they were all loved. Okay. When they sleep, they're almost always in delta, so they're completely rejuvenating. So here's the point. You have a brain, and it's not operating correctly if you want to manifest money and if you want to be happy. End of story. There's two parts of the brain that are operating correctly. One is the hippocampus, and the other one is the pineal gland. The pineal gland isn't because it's been calcified and it's been done to you. So you have to clear that out. And the hippocampus is really small. Oh, simple exercise. Let's look at the hippocampus size of wealthy people versus poor people. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, rich people have a big one, poor people have a small one. So I will, maybe on Monday, so you don't want to miss Monday's show, I'm going to tell you what to do to increase the size of it, how to decalcify the pineal gland so you can start getting your brain proper. So then when you use the techniques that maybe you learned in Think and Grow Rich or the Success Mastery course, and you start using these techniques, money will come to you easier. And I'll also give you more information about how to get rid of the blocks. This is what I do in the money processes, is get rid of these blocks. Even if you have a small hippocampus and your pineal gland is calcified, if you get rid of the blocks by using the success techniques, you're going to start manifesting easier. The blocks are the critical part, because even if you start broadcasting in theta like a billionaire, but you have the blocks, it's going to be like you're swimming upstream. Yeah, you'll manifest stuff. It's just going to be hard. And then when you manifest it, if you stop, you lose. It starts to go away, because these blocks they're counter intention. So you got to get rid of those blocks. And if you want more information on that, I'll even answer your questions personally if you want to talk to me. Just send an email to moneyprocesses@kevintrudeau.com. We deliver them every month here in Chicago. I take you to dinner. If you come and go through one of those, I can meet you personally. I'm not going to do that forever. It might be this could be the last year where I'm taking people to dinner. So if you want to meet me, you can come to Chicago. Just send an email. We'll give you all information. We'll send you an email back. If you have questions, either Megan will talk to you on the phone or I'll talk to you on the phone, answer your questions about the money processes. Just send us an email to moneyprocess@kevintrudeau.com. And we'll get you information on that. But I deliver them here in Chicago. And if you can't come to Chicago, guess what? I have a whole crew of people that I've trained. We fly them all over the world. We'll come to you. I mean, that's how dedicated I am to helping you. If you want to start manifesting stuff in your life and you can't come to Chicago to get the money processes delivered and get these blocks removed, you just buy one, whether you buy 1 or 10 or all 30. And Megan will schedule, I don't care if you're in Africa or Peru or Australia, it doesn't matter. We'll send somebody to you in an area that's close to you, relatively close to you, where you can get it delivered easier. So we'll do that for you. All right, so we're going to go to the phone lines here in a sec. All right, do we have any callers? Oh, we have a zillion callers. We have the phone number up there. If you have a question on anything I've talked about today or in any of the shows, or if you have a question about anything, I haven't talked much about aliens, but if you want to talk about that, if you want to talk about consciousness, if you want to talk about money, if you want to talk about what's going on in the media or in the current news, anything at all, I am here for you. Give me a call. I am the answer man. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you. So shall we go to the phone lines? Let's take our first caller. When you call in, make sure you tell me what your name is and where you're calling from. All All right, we have someone on the line. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, Kevin. My name is Itamar from Israel.
Hi, can you turn up the volume a little bit? Where are you calling from?
What?
Yes,
Sorry,
I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, my question is about the with your command, the 4 basics.
But you broke up. Say that one more time.
I say my question is about your wish with your command. I have a question about the 4 basics.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, my question is, so we have the 4 basics, and the 3rd basic is the training scale, right? Which is basically the start of 99% of everything. So if I have the thought in the right place and when attitude is right, the thought don't count. Why do we need the other basics? Like, if my mind is in the right place, why do I need to listen to the right people? Because my mind and the universe and God, whatever it is,
Okay,
need to listen to the right.
Hold on. I can't hear you. It's very muffled. Can we adjust the volume? Because it's as he's speaking, I can't hear what he's saying, or is that just a connection?
His connection.
Okay. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, he's talking about the training balance scale.
Okay, the training balance scale?
Basics.
Okay, the basic.
Why do we need the other 3?
And what's the question?
Why do we need the other 3 basics if we have mastered the training balance?
Okay, good. Okay, I have your question. I'm gonna disconnect you because I had a hard time hearing, but I'm gonna answer your question for everybody. So the question is, in your wish is your command, we have some basics. Number 1, who do you listen to? Next, we have, are you teachable? What's the teachability? And next, we have something called the training balance scale. So the training balance scale is training balance scale. Keyword is training. This is what it means. And for those of you who have not listened to Your Wish is Your Command, you should join our club and get it for free. It's the Ultimate Success Course. The training balance scale applies to every single person watching. If you want to start learning how to become successful, or learning how to make money, or learning how to manifest goals, dreams, and desires, or if you want to learn how to become enlightened and spiritually aware, you have to be trained. And to be the best, you must be trained by the best. Okay. I am a super genius, so obviously that's what it says here. I clearly qualify. But the training balance scale says you have to have a balance of the type of training that you're going to get. What most people do when they want to learn how to make money, they say, I want to make money, I need to learn how to make money. So I'm going to take a course teaching me how to trade cryptocurrency. Or I'm going to take a course on how to buy real estate with no money down. Or I'm going to start taking courses and learn how to set up an online marketing business and funnels and market stuff and sell things online. They want to know the technique, the method, the strategy, the action step. That's only one side of the training balance scale. The other side of the and there's nothing wrong with that. The other side of the training balance scale usually is avoided or not even looked at. The other side of the training balance scale says you also have to train your attitude, your thinking. It's the thinking and the attitude is actually more important than the technique. So if you're spending time learning technique, you have to spend at least the same amount of time or more working on your attitude. Now, some people do it the opposite. All they do is train their attitude. They don't learn any technique. And what you have here then is a motivated idiot. He's excited. I'm excited. I'm fired up, man. I'm going to get rich. Okay, but he doesn't know how. He's not spending any time learning a technique. So there has to be a balance between the two. In my opinion, you spend most of your time on your attitude and then the technique or the how will present itself. But you have to learn the how. I had a speaker at our event in Florida recently. When I met him, he had a good attitude, but I worked on his attitude first. And then I taught him technique. I taught him how to do copywriting, how funnels work, how to make money in direct marketing. When he left prison, this guy was in prison for 10 years, he continued to read attitude books, positive thinking books, listening to positive thinking audio tapes, associating with positive, motivational, inspirational people. He was working on his attitude, but at the same time, he was staying up till midnight for 5-6 hours a night learning technique. So he had a balance between the two. And he's made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they're selling their company for $500 million. Okay, but that's how it works. You have to have a balance between the two. You have to have a balance. Now, unless you're teachable and coachable, when you go through training, it doesn't work. So that's why being teachable, the teachability index comes before the training balance scale. You have to be teachable. And then who do you listen to? That's why it comes first, because most people listen to the wrong person. You listen to somebody who has what you want, has been where you are, not somebody who is just a professional seller of courses, but they haven't actually applied it and done it in real life, or they know so minimal, and you're not tapping into the real knowledge base. So I'm sure that answered your question. Let's go to the next caller. Okay, you're live on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh, is
Hi.
that me?
Yes, that's you. You're live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh, wow. My name is Frank. I'm calling from New York.
And what?
I'm a huge fan of yours.
Well, thank you very much.
And my question for you is, I've listened to all of your recordings, everything. With regard to manifestation, there's two reasons why something won't come in. Either you're putting out the wrong vibration, or you're putting out the right vibration, but you're doing something to block it. Now, I'm pretty sure I put out the right vibration. So I'm just curious if the blocking is coming from something deep in me that doesn't want me to succeed.
Yeah, Frank, let me answer this for everybody because this is a very good question. And I just brought this up a little bit earlier. The two major reasons that a person doesn't manifest what they want is if they know exactly what they want and they're using the techniques properly, they're putting out a vibration of what they do want. And if they're doing that properly and they're not manifesting, then what's stopping them? And the answer is there's something in the field that is blocking them. And there's 33 different dimensions. There's 33 different energetic blocks that happen specifically when it comes to money. And there's a lot of them. And even Napoleon Hill talked about it in his book. He talked about the fear of poverty is one of the major ghosts that haunt us, that stop us from manifesting goals, dreams, and desires. It's a fear. What we fear most will come upon us. That's a scriptural principle from the Bible in Job. What he thinks about, you manifest. What you think about, you become. Earl Nightingale said that. The strangest secret to life was you become what you think about most of the time. And even other experts in the mind talk about what you resist, will persist. So you get what you think about. So when you have a fear, when you are afraid of losing something, that's what you actually get. What you fear most will come upon you. That's just one of them. But there's 33 different blocks, and it has to do with creative energy and sexual energy, which stop you. Charlie Munger, who is one of the richest guys in the world, he was Warren Buffett's partner. He said, there's only a few reasons why people lose all their money, why wealthy people lose all their money. Liquor, ladies, and there's a third one he mentions, which is the energetic blocks, effectively. That they have things in their field that are counter-intention to what they're putting out. So when a person is putting out a vibration and a frequency, it has to be broadcast on a theta wave. It can't be broadcast on beta, it can't be broadcast on gamma, because theta is the energy wave that handles this physical universe. And this is the energy wave that when you put something out on that band in theta, it actually vibrates molecules and particles. And we know this by scientific testing. So when you go through the Success Mastery course, when you go through the Science of Personal Mastery course that I wrote, everyone starts at a different point. And sometimes it takes a lot of training before someone can start broadcasting on theta and start reducing some of these energetic blocks. That's why I set up the money process to do it faster for people to get rid of these. And that's when usually the avalanche comes in if they're broadcasting on the theta. Everything is designed to do this. Can in 1 hour I show you exactly how to do that? Anybody who says that to you is a big liar. At the end of the day, it's kind of like Mike Siegel, the world's greatest pool player, one of my good friends. I talk about him a lot. If you want to learn how to play pool and you were with Mike all day for 6 hours, at the end of that day, you're going to be a little better than when you started. But you're not going to be a champion pool player. And you're also not going to be a very good pool player. It just takes time. It's going to take time to learn a foreign language. It just takes time. It's going to take time to learn how to play the piano. And if you want to learn something athletic, let's say you want to learn how to play tennis or something, or golf, but you're 40 pounds overweight, you're not flexible, you're not healthy, you haven't exercised in your life, it's going to take you a long time, because in addition to learning the skills and techniques, you also have to get your body in shape. When it comes to manifesting and making money, it's exactly the same. This is why in the Brotherhood, the guys that I were with said, Kevin, why are you trying to teach these people? You're trying to make pigs fly. It's a waste of time. Kevin, look at the brain. The hippocampus is so small, it's going to take you a long time to get it large enough where it can broadcast on theta. It's just going to take too long. Why are you trying to help these people? They're beyond help. No, the answer is they're not beyond help. Sure, maybe they're not going to become a billionaire like you, but in a few years, if they're consistent and persistent, they're going to be dramatically better. Their conditions in life are going to be dramatically better than they are right now. Dramatically better. Maybe they're not going to be worth tens of millions of dollars, but it's going to be dramatically better. They're going to be much more at peace. Maybe they won't reach enlightenment in this lifetime, but I'll get them on the road. Improving the conditions of a person's life, that's the mission. So I hope that answered your question, Frank. Let's go to the phone lines. Okay, you are live on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. You were live on the air.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hello. I am Eileen. I'm calling from Seattle, Washington. And I would like to share a quick win with you, if I may.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I'm having a hard time hearing.
Of course, yes. My name is Eileen. I'm calling from Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
And I would like to share a quick win with everyone and ask a quick question, if I may.
Okay, go right ahead.
Thank you. Just a couple of days after the Dream Weekend, I became U.S. citizen and I went through my naturalization. And thank you so much for teaching us how to manifest everything you want. Especially after 30 money processes that I received, everything was very different and I'm improving every day in every way. So thank you so much, Master.
Well, thank you.
Of course. And my question is, what are the significance of the dreams that we have at night? Especially the ones that make you feel a particular way, or they have messages, or they contain some symbols. And what is the best way to approach them? Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you for the question. I'm going to answer it for everybody. Thanks for calling. So the question is about dreams at night. I want to make sure I heard it right. And I think the volume of the callers, maybe, guys, is maybe just a little bit too strong because they're getting a little, maybe kick down hair. So the question is about dreams. There's a lot of people that are, quote, dream experts. They do dream interpretations. We say there's 33 dimensions or 33 levels in the Akash or the field before the veil. Look, they blend into each other. You know, we want to put everything into a pigeonhole or a shoebox. Oh, there's 33 dimensions. Somebody else says that there's 18. Somebody else says that there was 72. Look, how many states are there in the United States today? How many states were there 100 years ago? It's the same United States. You're just magically drawing a line and saying that there's these states. If you're in one state and if you're in the United States and you cross into Mexico, if you didn't know where the border was, does it look the same? It looks exactly the same. Dimensions are the same way. You cross, they go, okay, well, we're going to set up a line here and go, this is dimension 1, here's dimension 2. You take the line away, it looks like it's all the same because the shifting is just so subtle. It's vibrational frequency or the energy being compacted. It's just denser. So we're in the most dense part here on physical Earth, and as you go, it's not up, by the way, it's in. Everybody wants to go, oh, we're going up to heaven. No, it's actually in. That's why the scripture says the kingdom of heaven is within you. It doesn't say it's up there. It's within. You actually go in, not up or down. It's in. Anyway, that's where bliss is. It's always within. Look within. Everything is within. God dwells within you as you. You're an extension and expression of God's love. Just as God is love and light and pure consciousness, so are you. So back to dreams. So when we dream, the spiritual essence that we are leaves the body to an extent. How do we know this? Well, the good news is today we have scientific equipment which actually scientifically verifies what spiritual masters have been saying for thousands of years. And it was poo-pooed by scientists. Until now, when the scientists are now, oh, I guess those guys were right. Yeah. You know, brainwaves, that didn't exist like 300 years ago, right? But now we understand that the law of attraction worked because I said it in Your Wish is Your Command. The brain is a transmitter and receiver of frequency. When I heard that back in the 60s, when I was being trained in the Brotherhood, it's like your brain does this, and I was at a place where we worked on this, and I had to move out of my. I'm like, oh, this is what I see. That's what's happening, but scientists don't have the equipment to measure that yet. But they will in the future, don't worry. Okay, now we know it's all true. So when we dream at night, I would never put too much emphasis on your dreams. I would look at dreams this way, because what I'm going to explain to you is a way to empower yourself. And that is, when you have a dream, just allow that energy to release. Dreams primarily are energies being released. It's one mechanism. In our physical body, we release waste matter out of our bodies via our nose, because when we inhale, oxygen comes in and stale air goes out. So we eliminate it through the nose. We also eliminate through our mouth. We can eliminate through our mouth. We can spit. We can throw up. So we eliminate toxins through our mouth. We also eliminate toxins when we urinate. We also eliminate toxins when we have a bowel movement. Or, for some of you, when you go number 2, poop. crap. I'm not going to say all the other words. You know what we're talking about here. And for some of you are still scratching your head, okay, you're one of the guys that they were talking about that I'm trying to make fly. Anyway. But do you know what the number one eliminative organ in the body is? Anybody here guess? Anybody here guess what the number one eliminative organ? They're all afraid to make a comment for me to make some comment. The number one eliminative organ is your skin. The skin is an organ, and you eliminate more through the skin than anything else. Matter of fact, all the other ones combined, you eliminate more through your skin. That's where toxins come out. So if you look at your mind, you eliminate energy, and it's not really eliminating, it's transmuting. You transmute energy out of your field in multiple ways, and one way is through dreams. As long as you don't resist, but you allow. If you put so much emphasis, you start getting stuck in the think stage and start thinking about, what does this mean? I'm going to take a dream interpretation course. You're actually keeping the energy encapsulated in your field because now you've assigned it significance and importance. When you don't assign it significance and importance and you just allow it to flow, then it transmutes. So I hope that answered your question. Any more callers on the line? Let's go to the phone lines. You are live on the air. You're live on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Chelsea. How are you?
Good. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Nate Hernandez, and I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Great. Do you have a question or a comment?
Yes, question. So, in your wish of your command, you were talking about money, and you said that sometimes some people become wealthy, and then they'll get scared and they'll start losing the money that they earned or gained. How do I stop that from happening?
Good question. I'm going to answer this for everybody because this is a very, very good question. Well, first off, most of you don't have this problem yet because you're watching going, Kevin, I don't have any money yet. But let's assume that you are starting to make money. Traditionally, if you look at all people that make a lot of money, they have ups and then downs, ups and then downs, ups and then downs. There's always some, in the stock market, they call it a correction. It's when you make a lot, then it goes backwards. One of the major reasons is when you're starting off in business, you have nothing to lose. Therefore, there's no fear of losing anything. You don't have what's called havingness when it comes to money. You don't feel you have any. So you make it. But once you feel that you have anything, there's a subconscious program that kicks in, and it's fear of losing it because you've attached your essence to that thing. Whether it's your car, whether it's a coat. I'll tell you a funny story. I bought this gorgeous leather overcoat. It was long, it went down to my ankles. It was handmade in Italy. And I bought this back, I think, in the early 90s. And it probably back then cost around $25,000 back in the 90s. So imagine how much it costs today. Gorgeous. And I loved this coat. And I was so afraid of spilling something on it, scratching it, leather kind of scratches. I was always concerned about my coat. I was always thinking about, I didn't want the coat to get damaged. I didn't want it to get ripped. It was always this fear about the coat. I went into a nice restaurant. They have a coat place where you can grab a coat hanger and put your coat on it. I put my coat on it and I sat down right there. And I'm talking and I'm having a nice dinner. I get up to go out. My coat was stolen in a nice restaurant. I wanted to throw up. And then I just laughed. What I had feared most had come upon me. Voila. And I'll tell you another story about this. I had a gold diamond Rolex watch. It was solid gold, diamonds all around it. It cost around $250,000. Also back in the 90s when I was learning this lesson. And on this one particular day, I was really stressed out. I'm using my breathing technique to kind of calm myself down. Had a lot of going on in my mind. A lot of business challenges came up. Boom, 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 boom. So I needed to take a little break. So I went down to the pool hall, which I like to do. It's kind of a way of just kind of relaxing. So I went down to took the afternoon off, went down to the pool hall, brought my pool cue, put it together, and I started playing pool for a couple hours. Just to bang balls around, just to kind of clear my head, working on my breathing, just relaxing, clearing the field. So then I looked at my hands and they were filthy dirty because of the chalk on the pool table. So I put my cue, I unscrewed it, put it in my case. I took the balls, I put them all together, and I said, let me go wash my hands, then I'll come back and I'll bring the balls up and pay for the time, and I'll return the balls. So I take my case, my pool cue, which was a very, very expensive pool cue, by the way. Thousands of dollars for the pool cue, and then the case was thousands of dollars. It was gorgeous. I went into the bathroom and I put my pool cue down, and I remember thinking, I got to remember to take my pool cue. I can't leave my pool cue. And then I took my watch off, put it down in the sink, washed my hands. Took about 3 times with soap to get all the chalk off. And I said, I got to remember my pool cue. So I went and grabbed my pool cue. I walked out, returned the balls, paid the guy, walked out, grabbed the taxi. This was downtown Chicago. Grabbed the taxi, started going home, and I said, I wonder how long I've been playing. And I looked, and there's no watch. And I crapped my pants. I said, turn around, turn around, turn around. So he turns around, I go hustling in, I go right into the bathroom, no watch. Now this is a pool room with pool players, right? Hustlers. These are not the most honest people in the world. So I go up to the counter, I said, did anybody find a watch in the bathroom? And the guy was like a long pause, and then, no. I'm like, yeah, either he's got it, or one of these other clowns was bragging about the fact that they found the watch. So I felt terrible. And I was attached to the watch, I had to release it. So there was these particular instances where my attachment to things, you actually take your energy and you extend it into material things, and that material thing becomes like an appendage. It becomes like your finger, and if you lose it, you feel like you lost part of your body. Freedom is when you have your spiritual essence not even connected to your body. That way you don't feel you have your body. This is total freedom. So if you don't attach yourself to stuff, now you're completely free. If you don't attach yourself to money, you have no fear of losing it. If you don't attach yourself to your body parts, you don't have any fear of losing that either. You're always healthier. You know, there was a guy, Jerry and Esther Hicks, the teachings of Abraham, which are excellent, very good. Jerry died of cancer. I mean, how does he die of cancer when she's channeling Abraham, and Abraham's telling everybody that you never have to have cancer? So Abraham says, with the law of attraction, you don't have to have cancer. You attract this into your life. You're vibrating the wrong thing. That's why you have cancer. You have to do this. You have to do this. Well, Jerry's there at every single one of these Abraham things. I mean, it's Esther's wife. I mean, she's Jerry's. Esther is his wife. How, if he knows the law of attraction and the teachings of Abraham better than anybody on the planet, how is it that he dies of cancer? All he was thinking about was cancer. He had fear of cancer all the time. He was studying it. He was afraid of it. Well, that's great. He knows the law of attraction, but he can't not be afraid. So if we look at this phenomena, the question is that came up, if I'm afraid of losing something, Kevin, what you're saying is what you fear will come upon you. And I'm not just saying that. That's a scriptural principle, not just in the Old Testament of the Bible, but in the New Testament and the Quran and the Mahabharata and the Ramayana and the Vedas, and et cetera. This is a theme from Buddha. Buddha talks about this. I mean, there are quotes on Buddha that talk about what you fear, what you're afraid of will come upon you. You're attracting it into your life. Okay, so let's say that we know that. Like Jerry Hicks knew that about cancer. He knew that if I'm afraid of cancer, I'm going to get it. But he couldn't eliminate the fear. So if you're afraid of losing something, whether it's a spouse, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, many of you get into a relationship and it's great. Then all of a sudden, it's so good, you are afraid of losing this person. And now the relationship is destined for disaster. So the real question is, how do you eliminate this fear? The answer is you have to go into your field. You have to find, this is one of the blocks that I handle in the money processes. And it's specifically about money. And this is also the big block that I handle in the relationship processes. And all of you know this. You get into a relationship, all of a sudden you fear of losing this person. You have fear that they're cheating on you. They have fear that they're lying to you, that they're going to leave you, that you're going to have pain. And you can't control it. They're called uncontrollable and irrational emotions. And they are creating havoc in your life and attracting what you don't want into your life, whether it's no relationship or relationship breakups or no money. That's why I have the money processes and the relationship processes. And at the end of the day, that's what you need. I mean, if you want, I can do it I can go in, I do one-on-ones, through my legal defense fund. And I just did the one the other day. I just went right in there and I just clear out that block because I can see it. Now, if you don't have the money to do a one-on-one with me, if you don't have the money to do the money processes or the relationship process, then what do you do? Oh, Kevin, help me. The answer is you don't have to spend any money. You can go and get the Guru Kev lessons at our website, gurukev.com. They're free. Go through them. Read the Nuggets of Gold. Go through them. Read the books on the recommended book list. Go through them. Watch all these free shows on YouTube. Get on the Kevin Trudeau Telegram channel, the Kevin Trudeau Fan Club Telegram channel. I give free training there. If you're that broke, then everything's for free. If you're ready to go to the next level, then you do have to sacrifice. Because if you're not willing to give something up, the universe is never going to give you anything. You got to put wood into a stove first before it gives you heat. You have to put money into the bank first before you can go with your ATM card and pull money out. You got to make a deposit first. So if you're interested in the money processes, you can send us an email, moneyprocesses@kevintrudeau.com, or you can send us an email if you're interested in the relationship processes where I clear all this stuff out. Relationships@kevintrudeau.com. They're all available to you. I want to read you something to give you an idea. A fully enlightened, self-realized guru wrote this. And it's called The State of Consciousness. Now pay attention to this because you probably will have some epiphanies. And as I read this, I'm going to transmit some energy to you through the waves of the universe, into the ether, into the Akash. When a being is fully conscious and aware, they transcend the illusion of the physical material world of duality. Duality is seeing everything as independent, such as a me and a you, a this and a that, a here and a there, where everything and everyone is separate and not connected. When a being is aware that everything and everyone is connected and essentially one, then that being becomes aware of the self, which is the non-physical you, the one consciousness or energy. An inner state is then attained where there is nothing to trigger irrational and uncontrollable emotions, feelings, or thoughts. No one can push your buttons because you no longer have buttons to push. You become free and liberated. Imagine being supremely confident, but not arrogant or conceited. Imagine having such total knowingness that you never need to be affirmed or validated by anyone. Imagine never feeling the need to convince anyone or prove anything. Think about never needing to argue or debate anyone about anything. Dream about never having the need to feel respected, never needing to be understood, never needing to be recognized or given credit for something you did. Imagine never being affected by what someone says or does to you, or doesn't say or do. Imagine having total clarity and certainty, but remaining completely humble, while at the same time never having any doubts, fears, or worries about anything. Dream about always feeling joy inside and never being affected by external conditions, situations, events, people, or circumstances. Imagine being amused by everyone and everything, while always having an inner laugh and smile. For you actually see everyone and everything as simply an expression and extension of the one universal consciousness that is all that is. And everything in life is just a play of that one universal consciousness. Think about how your life would be always feeling lighthearted and cheerful, without any concerns or stress, and never feeling the need to change anyone or anything in order to make you happy. Imagine being anchored in an inner state of peace, bliss, and certainty, regardless of what is happening in your life. Imagine being enlightened and self-realized. This can happen to you. I wrote that when I was in solitary confinement. They had put a murderer in my cell, someone who had just killed his last cellmate. Think about it. What do you want? What do you want in life? Who are you listening to? Do they inspire and motivate you? Do they make you feel better? Or do they make you feel stressed? Do they encourage you? Do they give you hope? What are you reading? Where are you wasting your time or spending your time? Everything in life that you want can be yours. Your wish can be your command. You just have to make a decision. Success is a decision away. And once you make that decision, you'll be inspired and motivated to take the necessary action steps to get you to where you want to go. But most importantly, you'll understand that the journey is actually the reward. This Saturday, I'm doing my live Zoom. If you're not a partner, become one. I want to see you on Saturday. I'm going to answer all your questions. I answer them all. It's a great Zoom call for partners only in the fan club. And your support helps dramatically pay all the lawyers and pay all the bills. I don't get a penny. And then our next show here, free, Monday. So make sure you join me on Monday. Every Monday and Wednesday, subscribe, share this with everyone, tell everyone about it, leave comments, check out our websites, KevinTrudeauFanClub.com, become a partner if you're not. And if you want more information on the money processes and relationship processes, hey, if you come to Chicago, I'll take you to dinner. Just send an email to moneyprocesses@KevinTrudeau.com, or if you want more information on the relationship processes, relationships, at kevintrudeau.com. I'm excited for you, my friend, because I can see in you maybe what you can't see in you. Your dreams can come true. This can be you. Go for it. I'm Kevin Trudeau. Don't let anyone steal your dreams. See you soon.